guess what? We are 13th globally for the amount of millionaires living in this city, and that's individuals with liquid investable wealth. It's essentially meaning they have assets that can be quickly converted into cash, long and short. At least 106,000 of these people have US $1 million in liquid investable wealth. That's impressive. You want to hear even more impressive? What's the next closest city to us in Canada? Drum roll, please. Sorry, that was terrible. But it's Vancouver. We are 13th in the world with 106,000 individuals with over $1 million. Vancouver is number 31 with 41,000 millionaires. That to me is a major shock, but this study that was done does take in mind that it is really hard to pinpoint exactly who is living where and how much, because these people with these money might not live in the city. They might work somewhere else. There's a lot of reasons that it's hard to pinpoint the amount. So Vancouver's number might be much higher. Toronto's number might be much higher for all we know. In fact, in North America, yeah, we're number 13. We're below Chicago. It's impressive that there's this many millionaires in the city, and I don't have a single friend who is a millionaire. That's all I'm saying. But to tell me if this is really good or not for the city, because having a bunch of people with investable funds like this could be great for the city, or it could be part of the reason we're being priced out of real estate. Let's turn to our real estate expert. That's Devel Morrison with Bosley Real Estate Limited, who is going to make sense of all this and either make me excited or jealous about these millionaires here. So Devel, do I have you on the line?
Yes. Hi, Glenn. Ouch. That was quite the intro. My God.
Yeah, it's a lot of millionaires that aren't me. So like...
But you know what? For me, it's a positive thing. It gives us all something to work towards. I thought it was interesting that New York City was top on the list with 349,000 millionaires. Yeah, and San Francisco had 305,000 millionaires at number 2. And Tokyo was ranked 3.
Right?
To me, it's let's learn from these people and figure out how we can get the same. I'm not into the jealous camp and saying that they're driving up real estate, because they're simply not.
Okay, good.
But hey, let's learn from them and do the same.
So then curiously then, with a city with a bunch of millionaires or not, because the few cities, like, you know more than I do here, Devel, I just want to politely push back and see if I'm wrong here. Because New York City, real estate's insane. Yes. San Francisco, it's better. London, which is also on this list, real estate is insane. LA, Tokyo, like these places where these millionaires seem to be, real estate seems to be high. And are you saying that there is really no connection between the two, or if it's more like these are world-class cities that kind of drive in these people with the money?
So the connection simply could be that they've bought real estate in all these different markets, right? Because as you said, yes, these are some of the most expensive markets in real estate. I mean, that although the difference between Toronto and Vancouver almost rejects that point.
Fair enough,
Vancouver real estate is more expensive than Toronto real estate. But Toronto has far more millionaires than Vancouver does. But I would attribute to this is really the heart of business in Canada, Toronto, Vancouver.
Okay, yeah.
And that's the reason we've got more millionaires. But yeah, absolutely, there's a connection with real estate, because really the more real estate you own, the richer you're going to be. And of course, I know that that's my one-sided opinion as a real estate agent, but I still think it's the truth.
It makes sense. And like I said, the jealous me is completely annoyed at all these millionaires. The pragmatic me thinks there must be much more economic benefit to having this much people with this much money in the city, because it's more opportunities for multiple investments on multiple fronts, whether that's major projects or minor projects, even helping kind of get life into a neighborhood, which segues me to our next thing here, because this actually is really interesting to me. I'm excited about this. There are new, zoning laws changing in the city that will make neighborhood shops and just neighborhoods in general get more life, and therefore kind of help people financially in these situations, correct? Am I missing this part here? Or is this something really exciting that's coming to the city?
No, I love it, because to me, it really adds flavor to different neighborhoods. I mean, neighborhoods are only, when I'm showing a house, I love to be able to say to a client, you know what, such and such coffee shop is right there.
Yes.
Because to me, that's what makes it a neighborhood. So I love the fact that they're going to have these little stores available in the neighborhood where people are going to need them and use them.
That's great. And I'm happy you're saying that, because I made a note here earlier that there seems to be a decline in neighborhood culture and life. And I don't mean that, the city's going to crap or these neighborhoods all run down, but I mean, they don't seem to have the personality in an individual, for example, that Kensington Market has, or the Danforth, the Little Jamaica seems to have. Like, I live in a nice neighborhood, but I wouldn't say it's really full of a lively culture. So if we had more small shops like this, do you think that can almost be like a two-pronged thing where we can get a more culturally rich and diverse neighborhood landscape as well as foster small businesses?
Absolutely. But I also think, I mean, that's why I actually like the Cafe TO program.
Yeah.
I live at Yonge and Eglinton, and I find that, when we've got the Cafe TO program going and there's people eating out in the street, the restaurants, like it just brings the neighborhood alive. I love it.
Well, I guess also because Yonge and Eglinton, it has been like a dead zone because the LRT for so long that it must be even nicer for you just to see life on the street again.
Exactly, but we can't talk about the LRT.
No, I'm not trying to traumatize anybody here, but we're not going into that, I promise. But that's just touching on. So,
but yeah, I love seeing the life, and I recently went to visit, excuse me, in the east end of the city. Shout out to a store called Old School General Store. It's at the corner of Lumsden and Westlake Avenue. And there's such a cool vibe. Neighbors can walk in, they could get the coffee, they get the tea, they can pick up that last minute thing, that item they forgot to get at the grocery store, but they also get to connect with neighbors as well, right?
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm just looking at this online. This actually looks like an awesome little corner store.
Yeah, and I love that. Like, to me, it's kind of like having the tuck shop, when you're in university. Just a place to go and get stuff. And, I went to university at McGill, and I remember there was like a pizza place in the McGill ghetto that was just underneath the base of an apartment building. And it was just kind of so cool. Like, here we are tucked away in this little residential neighborhood that you've got this pizza place. So I love it. To me, it just brings life. It's a great thing for businesses because they're hopefully supported by the neighbors. And yeah, I love that kind of thing.
So just very quickly, because we are coming to the end and I should have asked this earlier, but I'm very curious, what kind of stores are we talking about here? Are we talking like clothing stores? We're not talking like big box stores. We are talking smaller, and we've mentioned convenience stores, but is there anything else that could be allowed in this new rezoning permission?
I mean, I think we're just talking mom and pop stores, right? So you're right. We're not talking about throwing in
like a Walmart or something.
Cart. Yeah, we're talking about your local corner store, an ice cream shop, just cute little things like that people could need. And I mean, it's great. I live close to a cookie store as well as a Portuguese bakery.
Yeah,
and it's nice to literally just run out the door and get something that I want. Love it. And I also think it's great for real estate values as well, too.
Oh, no, I completely agree. And Devel, on both of these, usually when we talk, you depress me on at least one thing here, but both times here, you've made it seem like it's good to have millionaires in the city, which that's a big win to convince me on that. Good for you. And then you've also told us about how neighborhoods could be getting new life and new businesses in the city. I love talking to you about anything like this, Devel. You seem to really know what's going on, and you make it easily digestible for me. So thank you very much for joining us and sharing this with the listeners.
Great. Thanks for having me, Glenn. I appreciate it.
Thank you. That's Devel Morrison with Bosley Real Estate Limited, letting you know the what's what when it comes to our city's real estate.